All right, happy Thursday. Welcome to Survive to Thrive. I am going to talk with you today about communication, simple conversation, right? Give me just a moment while I download, hopefully, PowerPoint for you. We'll see. Everybody cross your fingers. Close that. Do this. Hey, I think I got it. All right, you should be looking at a screen that starts with key practices for effective communication. Somebody give me a thumbs up. Good to go. Awesome. All right, here we go. So, number one, be clear and concise. Use straightforward language, short sentences, and get to the point quickly. So, for those of you who are hearing blah is better than blah, 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 that's exactly what I mean here. The person you're communicating with should be the one who's doing most of the communicating, by the way. So if I'm having long-winded conversations with you, you're probably inside your head thinking, when is this guy going to finally shut up so I can talk? Keep the conversation short, to the point, and get the person you're speaking to engage in the conversation. Simply put, in my 14-point listing presentation, one of three things typically happen when I meet with a potential client. One of those three things will happen today. One, they hire me. Two, they don't. Three, I may turn the opportunity down. Now, I can make that super long-winded, but I want to get right to the point. You guys have heard me say many, many times, speak in bullet points. When you're speaking in bullet points, it gives you the ability to internalize the conversations of real estate. We were talking on the Hive yesterday about being scripted, and of course, whenever scripts come up, my name comes up, and I spoke up, and I'm like, guys, I don't speak in scripts. I memorize conversations. The scripts for me are just a blueprint to follow. I'm not going to speak to somebody like a robot. We're having a conversation. All right. Number two, by the way, I'm going to forget the numbers because there's a lot of them here. So let's skip that. Well, it's three on my bullet point list. So let's go with that. Three, active listening. Pay attention, ask clarifying questions. Tell me more about that. So you're looking for a home with four bedrooms. What's important to you about that? Listen to what they say. What they say is so much more important than what you're going to say. And if you don't ask the question, just by the way, just going with this example here, if somebody tells you, well, one of the things I'm looking for is a home with four bedrooms, and you don't ask a clarifying question, then you assume that a three-bedroom home with an office won't work for them. When in fact, what could be important to them about four bedrooms is they need an extra room for an office. And because you didn't ask, you didn't find out, and you didn't search for three-bedroom homes with an office, so you didn't show them a home that would be a perfect fit for what they're looking for, and you didn't sell them a property that you could have sold simply because you didn't ask a clarifying question. Paraphrase to ensure understanding. So here's what I would say. So Tyann, here's what I'm hearing you say. I'm going to say that a lot and repeat it back to them. The person you're speaking to feels heard. That's so important. Remember the three questions that every real estate agent is asking themselves. By the way, for those of you who are in the recruiting business, for those of you who are building businesses, uh, and the way you build a business is by recruiting talent to your business. Everything I'm sharing here is 100% applicable to that as well. So the three questions every homeowner is asking are the same three questions that every real estate agent is asking who you are talking to about becoming a business partner with you, which are, do you care about me? Can I trust you? Can you help me? All right. Number four, nonverbal communication. Be mindful of body language, eye contact, and tone. It is, if I lean in, I'm leaning in to get eye to eye with you. When I do this, I want to speak to your heart. I don't want to speak to your head. I want to speak to your heart. I want you to feel that I'm speaking to your heart. If I if I lean in and listen to you and nod my head and and actively listen to you, really, how did that make you feel? Tell me more about that. Now I am being an active listener. Tonality is super important. If somebody says to you, I think your script is too high, one of your responses to that could be, really, why is that? Listen to me. Really, why is that? Versus, really, why is that? Same three words, totally different message, all because of tonality. Number five, consider your audience. Tailor your message to their knowledge, background, and communication preferences. All right, so let's talk DISC and let's talk love languages. DISC, you've got high D, high I, high S, high C. You're going to communicate with people differently depending on who they are. You could typically tell who somebody is within the first few minutes of the conversation. I could tell who somebody is by the voicemail they leave on their phone. If I call Tyann, for example, and I get, hi, you've reached Tyann and the name of all of her children, we're not home right now, but we hope you're having a beautiful day and we love her. Okay, that's a high I. That's a high I. If I call Ashley and I get, this is Ashley, leave a message, I'll call you back. That's a high D. All right. I can typically tell who I'm speaking to even by the voicemail they leave. When you look at the love languages and you look at the way that I describe the love languages, which is using puppy dogs, kitty cats, Tweety birds, and goldfish. A puppy dog is someone who feels love through spoken words of approval. Good dog. You're such a good dog. Kitty cat through physical touch. Tweety bird, they just want you to sit and listen to them sing. So my wife is a Tweety bird. When I talk to my wife, all she wants me to do is sit there and listen to her sing. Now, if I can throw in a few, really, wow, what happened? How did that make you feel? Now that Tweety bird is just singing and happy as can be. I'm paying attention to their communication preferences and I'm communicating the way they want to be communicated to. You know, the golden rule, treat people the way that you want to be treated, complete BS. Treat people the way they want to be treated. All right, number six, create a supportive climate. So foster an environment where people feel comfortable sharing their thoughts and ideas. So I have this huddle every single day with my team. Taz is in there, Debbie's in there, and I'm just talking about people who are on my screen right now. There's a few others that are probably on the call today. I just can't see them right now. If I got in there and I started judging everything they said, I started correcting them, they're not going to feel comfortable sharing their thoughts and ideas. I'm just there to listen to what they say. Now, they share their wins and their rocks, and we talk about everything. Oh my gosh. I should record one of those meetings just to play one of those huddle meetings for you guys. It would just blow your mind. The things that they will talk about, absolutely incredible, hilarious sometimes. All right. Number seven, be courteous and respectful. Use kind words, respectful language, and be mindful of cultural differences. This is huge. This is really huge. So I'm going to give you an example that, and I'm guilty of this. Okay. I'm super guilty of this. I had to learn from Zig Ziglar a long time ago that when speaking to a group, never use language that would be considered inappropriate. In other words, never cuss from stage because somebody in the room is going to be offended by that. And if one person in the room is offended by that, it's not okay. Now, for those of you who know me, know that I'm guilty of this. I'll drop a few words that I shouldn't drop every so often. It depends on what passion level that I'm speaking. If you get football, John, it's you never know what I'm going to say. So be respectful, use kind words, be mindful of cultural differences. Kind words is big with me. If I'm speaking to you, Angie, The goal of my conversation with you is at the end of the conversation, I want you to feel like the most important person in the world. I don't want you to feel that I'm the most important person in the world. If that's the end result of the conversation, then I failed. I want you to feel like the most important person in the world. Number 8, be assertive, not aggressive. Express your needs and opinions clearly without being confrontational. Another thing I learned from Zig Ziglar a long time ago, win the argument, lose a sale. People will never change their mind, but they will make a new decision based on new information. My job is to help you make a new decision based on new information, not to push you into agreeing with my opinion. Number 9, seek feedback. Feedback. Ask for feedback on your communication style and be open to making improvements. Big on this. My dream champion here is my wife, and whether I ask her for feedback or not, I'm getting it. And she'll watch these videos and then she'll come to me later on and she'll tell me, you should do this. You shouldn't have said that. It would be better if you did this. And I love it. I hate it, but it helps me grow. Okay. She'll probably watch this video and get mad at me because I talked about her. All right, practice empathy. Try to understand the other person's perspective and communicate with their needs in mind. By the way, guys, those of you who are parents, all this stuff works with your kids too. Those of you who are married, have a significant other in your life, this stuff works there too, right? Guys, I'm talking to you. If your wife comes to you and starts sharing um, her day with you and she had a bad day and you try to fix the problem, you lost. She doesn't want you to fix the problem. She just wants you to listen. She doesn't want suggestions. She just wants you to listen to her. She wants to be understood. She wants to feel that you have empathy, not sympathy, but empathy for her. All right. There's some counseling going on here. Sorry about that. All right. Be prepared. Research the topic, anticipate questions, and be ready to respond thoughtfully. As real estate agents, you should know every single question that you're ever going to get. You've been doing this long enough. You've had enough conversations. You know the questions that you're going to get so that you have responses that you've PDR'd, practice, drill, rehearse. So you're not responding in scripts, you're responding in communication, but you're not inside your head thinking, what am I going to say when this person finally stops talking? And you already know what you're going to say so that you can communicate with them effectively in a way to make sure that you are responding thoughtfully. All right, be present. Give your full attention to the speaker and avoid multitasking during conversations. Have you ever been to an event, like a networking event? I'm changing screens so I can look at different people here. Taz, so I know that you're on the board of realtors. I know you go to events with the board of realtors and you've got lots of real estate agents in the room. Have you ever been in a conversation with someone and they're doing this?
Absolutely.
They're looking around the room, right? Now, what do you feel when they're doing that? How does that make you feel? What are they doing? What do you think they're doing?
So instantly I know they checked out already. So to get their attention back, I have to change the topic fast and get them back in here.
Thank you for answering that the way you did. And you're 100% right. I want you to answer it from your personal feelings, focused on what are they communicating to you? What's their communication to you by doing this?
Not interested.
Not interested. I'm looking for somebody more important to talk to. It's exactly what they're doing. It's exactly what they're doing. Now, staying with the same conversation, what if you're communicating with somebody and you're telling them about something that happened and they respond with their own personal story. In other words, they change the conversation completely. Now it's about them. Debbie Clark. Has that ever happened to you?
Yes, of course.
What is it? How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel like they're not interested in what they're not interested in me.
Their favorite person is themselves.
Mhm.
Their favorite topic of conversation is themselves. I know I have another PowerPoint here. Maybe I don't. Okay. That's it, I guess. Hold on. Nope, never mind. Stronger communication, stronger relationships. By incorporating these best practices, you can significantly improve your communication skills and build stronger, more effective relationships. Okay, all good. So stop share. Talk to me. Well, I got hands up already. Well, maybe those are hands that are left up from before. Talk to me, Joe.
Sure, I just wanted to touch on your last point about, when you talk to people and you have a story and they're not even listening to your story, they just want to tell their story that's related to it. Not even in business, so many times that happens.
100%. 100%. Guys, so I'll go back to when Lacey, my 23-year-old daughter today, was 14 years old and she had cancer. And I would be talking to somebody, they ask, how's things going? And I'm telling them the truth, right? I'm being raw, I'm being real, I'm being vulnerable. So I'm telling them my 14-year-old daughter is in therapy. She has 52 weeks of chemotherapy. She was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, blah, blah, blah. And I would hear, oh, my grandmother had had cancer. I know exactly how you feel. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? You don't know how I feel. You're not listening. All right. That was a rant. Sorry. Go, Tyann.
Okay, I have a question going back to the disc profiles. I know I personally took one years ago. I would love to do it again, but I guess two questions. One, is there a place where you can go if you're not like in a group and take it online, like you can individually take it?
Number
And then,
so the answer to that question is for all of you with EXP, it's on your app. If you're not with EXP, I know it's on Tony Robbins' website.
okay. And then the follow-up question to that is because you were saying that you can read people pretty quickly. Did you get better at that just by learning the disc profiles and then paying attention to body language, tone, all of the things that a person shows you when they speak to you? Is that how you kind of were able to really understand if I'm sitting in front of somebody, I can feel like, oh, this is how that person goes?
Yeah, it's time on task over time. First of all, you have to understand the disc really, really well. My advice would be take it and study um, the each of the four different dominating characters in your personality, your D, your I, your S, your C, so that you get a better understanding of what those look like and what those sound like. So you know when you're talking to somebody, is this a high S? Are they high C? Do they lead with their S and C, or do they lead with their D followed by their I? So I'm a 99 D and a 98 I, and I've got no S and no C. By the way, Tyann, you're a high I. Michael
Thank you.
Chilanda.
Yeah, so people want to be heard, they want to hear their name, and they want to be right.
10-4.
Yeah, and when you do that well, there's a good chance, it's not foolproof, but there's a good chance that the law of reciprocation will pop up and you'll get to add your story.
Hmm.
And if it didn't pop up and you didn't get to add your story, but you did gain their confidence and their business, then awesome. You feel awkward. They don't know enough about you. That's okay. But your bank account looks good. So you choose where you want to be awkward.
There you go. Good stuff from one of the best coaches I know. If you're not attending Michael's productivity coaching on Monday and Thursday, you should be. Steve Pugh, talk to me. Thank you, Victoria, for putting
Uh,
that in the chat. Victoria put in the chat for the disc profile, by the way. Okay, talk to me, Steve.
yeah, active listening. I think when you touched on that, and that's good stuff, John. I think we get so caught up on what we're going to say next
Yeah.
that active listening goes to the sideline. And this is so applicable right now. We were doing call recordings yesterday, and one of our business partners was having a conversation with a lady that was down in Miami, and the lady proceeded to say, "Well, I'm just cleaning out a rental property. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it next." She didn't catch it. She completely went over it and then focused back on a piece of land that the lady wanted to buy in this area. And when we went back and listened to the call recording and found that in there, light bulb, right? And she reached back out to her. The lady gave it to her. She said, "I'm cleaning out this property and I'm just trying to figure out what to do with it next." And she completely breezed over it. So just active listening. And then, like Michael said, first names. People love to hear their first names. That's, as many times as possible. Be careful. Overusage can be a bit tacky. But another thing that's helped me is keyword backtracking. So if somebody says properties, like sending me properties, keyword backtrack and use that same word. Don't say, "Did you get the houses that I sent?" Say, "Did you get the properties that I sent?"
Exactly
If
right.
if somebody calls a garden a yard, call it a yard. If they call it a garden, call it a garden. So just a couple things.
Love that. So glad you're here. So glad you're contributing great stuff. I'll add one thing to what Steve said. Don't correct them. Uh, I would have homeowners that would say, "You gonna put my home in that MSL?" I'm like, "Yeah, putting your home in the MSL." Let's go, Sean.
I wish we had done this yesterday because I ran into an 80-year-old Tweety bird that was pushing high D as well. And so an 80-year-old person has a lot to say. They've got a lot of experiences. So there was a lot of listening. And then I realized, all right, I just got a pattern interrupt. So when I would get a moment, I'd talk about price because he was just probably 100,000 overpriced and he was pushing that. But then he changed up. I asked him if he had a loan. He said no, they own it outright. Then later he said they had a loan, and so I ended up I didn't not take it, but I didn't take it. We agreed he has to go get more information, but it was I was there 3 hours, and the majority of the talking was him telling me about his life, which was fine. I don't mind hearing good experiences.
Okay, awesome. I was just gonna say that's the way it should be. Let's go, Taz.
Yeah, thank you. The mind is the most amazing thing ever created. And I think communication more than ever is a skill that we have to work on, especially me, develop it more with the market that we're in. We're not just putting a sign in the yard anymore and getting multiple offers. So communication, thank you for going over this. It's such an important skill that we forget about and we script and role play sometimes. But I think this is the most important thing going into the next phase of this year is going to be really important. So thank you for sharing that communication.
Thank you, Taz. All right, it's housekeeping. I am out of town August the 31st through September the 5th, which means I am not here for Survive to Thrive the week of September 1st. What I would like, if you guys want to lead one of those days, put your name in the chat. I want a different person to lead each day. I should have given you this at the beginning today. Sorry. Real quick, let me say goodbye to the YouTube world, okay? So thanks for joining us. Survive to Thrive. I'm John Dietz, and make it a great day.